And good morning. Today is Sunday morning. So we have another Sunday morning live, April 19th. Today actually happens to be one of my granddaughter's birthdays. She turns 8 today. So happy birthday, Addie. It's so great that you have another birthday. We get to celebrate that today with her. And we'll be doing that shortly here this afternoon. So happy birthday, Addie. Oh, well, yesterday one of my other granddaughters had her birthday party. Her birthday is Monday. She had a birthday party yesterday, and we celebrated that at a local place here. I helped serve the pizza, and unfortunately, the pepperoni pizzas had a smell to them that was just amazing. It started my stomach grumbling and rumbling, and I ended up breaking my fast last night at 120 hours when I got home from that. So that kind of sucked, but at least I made it to the 120-hour mark. The smelling that damn pizza was just, and this is what the hell? That's the wrong picture. This is the pizza right here. I was serving this to the kids, and this pepperoni, for whatever reason, just had that smell to it, and it started my stomach rumbling and my mouth watering. And that was what, 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I ended up waiting until about 6:15 to eat. But man, that was a rough couple hours waiting to eat. Uh, Terry says that she's not going to be able to chime in today, hanging with sister. Have a great meeting. We will, Terry. And I did see you in some of the other meetings this morning. So if you are here, thank you very much. If not, you have a great day. Uncle Willie, good morning. How you doing today? It's a beautiful day here. Again, today was one of those days where we woke up here in uh, my neck of the woods and it was 14 degrees out. We weren't supposed to be getting down that low. And well, that was still dark. So, but it's coming up and temperature is actually up to 27 degrees. It's this time of year, once the sun comes out, the temps do rise pretty good. And we're looking at getting up to, well, today's high is only supposed to be like 50 degrees. I hate when that does that. Today's high is only supposed to be 50 degrees. By Tuesday, we're supposed to be 80. So, it's that time of year in this state where this kind of crap goes on. All right. Well, how am I? I'm doing great. How are you doing? But so last night I broke my fast with bacon and eggs. 120 hours broke with, I actually ended up having 4 eggs, 8 pieces of bacon. This is an old picture. I didn't have a current picture because I forget to take pictures of that kind of crap. But I had four eggs total. Started with 2 eggs, 4 pieces of bacon. Waited for an hour. Then I had 2 more eggs, 4 more pieces of bacon, and then 2 quarter-pound beef patties that were homemade. So, but I did end up breaking my water fast last night at 120 hours, 120 point something. But it was good. It was a good fast. I was happy with the results. I'm happy with where I ended up at. It was actually pretty good for me. Well, hey, good morning, Brian. Kilt's get done with his live already. It's nice to see you here this morning. Uncle Willie says, I think I have a stress fracture in my right foot, up all night in pain. Hard to stay off of it. got things to do. Yeah, that's stress fractures are never fun. You know, if you don't have a stress fracture, it could just be something as simple as it being just a little dislocated or out of place a little bit. I've had to go to the chiropractor to have my ankles and stuff popped to be put back into place. And holy cow, does that make a difference? It's huge when you get that back in there. I see on the vertical feed when I show a picture or something and I go back to the regular feed, it gives me a weird. It goes to an automatic setting for a group layout and puts a weird frame around everything. So I don't like that. Oh, and it's delicious coffee this morning. So this is my ketones and my blood sugars this morning. This morning when I got in here and sat down in my chair, yeah, I got to sleep in today. So I feel absolutely refreshed and amazing today. Uh, my blood sugars were still elevated for what they should be, 97 this morning. My ketones were still at 2.4, which I'm very happy with. Give me a GKI of 2.2, and I think my Dr. Boz ratio was still at right at 40 on this one. So this is still absolutely great for breaking a fast and having a marvelous fast on that one. And then this was yesterday. I showed yesterday mornings I was above 5 when I did my morning glucose. And when I was in the morning meeting with Larry, I could feel my ketones had gone up. If you fasted and you've had the ketones go up on you, you can feel it. So here, if you look on the bottom one here at 11:44 a.m., that's Central Time. So my glucose was at 70, but my ketones were at 5.6, and that gave me a GKI of 0.6, which is absolutely great. And then last night when I got home, we got home about 5 o'clock from the birthday party. My glucose was down to 54, and I wasn't having any bad side effects. I wasn't having any issues. I was actually doing really good. My ketones were at 4.9 with still a 0.6 GKI, and that's a Dr. Boz ratio. If you follow Dr. Boz at all, that's a Boz ratio of 13. So that's an amazing Boz ratio. Anything under a GKI of 1 is really, really good for your body for healing. So I was actually really happy with this fast and how it turned out. I haven't had breakfast yet this morning. What I ate yesterday came out to be right around 2,000 calories for the rest of the day, which was really good and made a big difference in how I feel. Let's go back to this. I think I did it right that time. Jeff says if I break a fast of longer than 48 hours, that would make me run to the bathroom. Jeff, that's what I've learned that for me, the way I break a fast is I have 2 over easy eggs and 4 pieces of crispy bacon. And then I wait for an hour to 90 minutes, and then can eat regular meal after that. If I try anything other than the 2 eggs and the 4 pieces of bacon, that's exactly what I have to do. I end up running to the bathroom and I end up having a bad time on that one because you know, you know what happens when you break your fast wrong. You end up with disaster pants if you're not careful. So for me, this is what I found works. I have to have the eggs. I'll have 2 eggs over easy, 4 pieces of bacon, and that is what my body does the best with. And it took a while for me to figure out what I need to eat and then remember what I need to eat. That's one of the things that I do or did when I first started doing all this is I tracked what I did, so I knew what my results were. Yeah, it was good. Brian Harris says I had great numbers this morning. And you need it. Yep, things got rough. The wife was cooking hamburgers and almost broke me. Yeah, it really does. That's that pizza last night when I served that to the grandkids and to their friends and stuff. I served the cheese pizza, not a problem. It didn't bother me one bit. And because like the first 4 or 5 kids wanted just cheese, so I just opened up the cheese pizza and handed them the cheese pizza. It didn't bother me at all. The first one asked for pepperoni, and I opened up that box, and that smell hit me. I was like, "Oh crap!" It was not a good feeling because I could tell right there that that was going to affect me. And yeah, the smell got my stomach moving, got my saliva in my mouth going. I was like, "Oh, this isn't going to be good." Because I really didn't want to break my fast until this morning, which would have put it at like 135 hours or something like that. But still, 120 hours is a great fast. That's 5 full days. Whether it's 5 days or 5.5 days, it was a great fast. Yes, and good morning. All right, so what do we call you? Munchy Munchy Phil Carnies. Yeah. Brian says his blood glucose 77, ketones 3.7, lost 6 pounds this week. Needed that. Absolutely. I didn't weigh myself this morning. Yesterday I was at 215. My lowest so far has been 205. And I know from past experience with fasting, I can estimate that my starting weight on that fast was about 210 or 225, maybe just a little bit more, but 225 is probably where I was at when I started. And like I was talking with Larry in the meeting yesterday, I haven't been the strictest carnivore eating the last couple of months. I've tried different things with my wife, and it showed on my fast here. Showed that when I was trying to start fast, I couldn't start them. And then finally, when I got this one going and I stepped on the scale after 4 days, I saw that I was 215 pounds after 4 days. I was like, wow, I didn't realize I'd gained that much weight because I haven't weighed myself for quite a while. I didn't realize I'd gotten that much weight on. Now, how much of that was water weight? I don't know. But my wife and I both said we got to stop eating stuff that doesn't go with us. Well, for me, the biggest thing that I was eating was popcorn when we were at the hockey games. Hockey season's over for us. We have no more home hockey games for our team, so that works for me. What I learned next year I'm not gonna have popcorn at the hockey games because it does affect me and it's not something that's good. What or did I? Did I learn that? Should I? I don't know. Well, we'll see how my healing goes this summer and see what goes on because I can't wait to be able to open up my curtain here and get that bright sunshine and sit out in the sun. It's coming. It's going to be here soon. Brian says, I love pizza. Yeah, they would have had to call the EMT, right? And I used to love pizza. I could eat pizza every day. I was one of those guys that could do that. And I could buy the cheap pizzas, right? And before I put them into the oven to cook, I always doctored them up. I seasoned them. I had extra cheese. I put different stuff on them and then threw them in there. So it didn't taste like that cardboard garbage that you were getting. It had more taste to it, more flavor to it, a lot more calories. But looking back at it now, what was I adding? I was adding cheese and I was adding more meat and then some seasoning. So what I was adding to it was actually good. The rest of what was down there was not good. I know that now. Oh, and right now I'm actually way behind on my coffee intake this morning. I made just a half a pot this morning, and that's what's left of it. I usually drink a full pot in the morning when I'm on the weekends, anyway. And this is only half a pot so far. Now, one of the coffees that I used to really like and caused me some issues when I was on the carnivore diet to begin with was the Black Rifle coffee that I really, really liked. Black Rifle coffee. And we were at the store. What day was it? Friday night? Oh, hold on one second here. All right. So, can you hear me again? Oh, that was the bat phone for my work, so I had to take that. So we were just talking about pizza. Brian was having EMT up. Let's see. Brian says when you started DDP yoga, the Diamond Cutter, Diamond Dallas Page Yoga, you weighed 369 pounds in July. This morning, 268. You've lost 101 pounds. That is amazing, Brian. This morning, 9 months. Can't wait to see the next 3 months results. I'm up on coffee intake. Yep. Not going to stop either. There's no reason to. As long as your body doesn't have issues with it, there's no reason to stop it. Now, I found a coffee that worked great for me, and that was the Dunn Brothers Papua New Guinea Western Highlands coffee. It has an absolutely amazing flavor. I really like it, and it doesn't cause me any issues. So, if it doesn't cause you issues, enjoy it. Yeah, the Black Rifle coffee to me, when I first started, caused pain, caused me to hurt. And what I was doing, okay, so the first couple months I was doing it, my pain and aches and pains all went away except for a couple little ones. And I watched a video by Laura Spath where she talked about what the different drinks do to your body, whether coffees, teas, sports drinks, sodas, juices, alcohols, everything. She went over everything you could think of. I mean, she had examples on a table and she was showing you what they were and then explain what they did to you. When she came to the alcohol, and this is why I stopped drinking, I had done a lot of research on the carnivore diet before I ever started it. So I knew your liver was doing a lot of different things while you were healing and while you're eating this way. And Laura Spath said, you can drink alcohol on carnivore. It it's not gonna, it doesn't have carbs. It's not gonna be bad for you as far as that goes. Doesn't have a lot of calories, so. But what it does do, your liver stops healing. Your liver is what helps to heal your body. Does all your hormones and 600 functions every hour that your liver does. But when you drink alcohol, your liver stops doing those 600 functions and focuses on eliminating the poison from your body, which is the alcohol. So until that alcohol is gone, your liver is no longer doing its 600 functions. It's no longer healing your body and it's no longer benefiting you. And that made sense to me. So I stopped drinking alcohol. And when I stopped drinking alcohol, I was like, I might as well stop drinking coffee too. Why not? So I did. I stopped drinking coffee. And as soon as, within like 3 days of stopping alcohol and coffee, those last couple of aches and pains went away. One was in my shoulder neck area, but the biggest one was the heel on my left foot. I've had a pain in my heel for years, and I didn't know what it was from. Turns out it was from my coffee. And it was like 3 days later, I didn't have that pain anymore. The pain in my shoulder and neck was gone waking up, and it wasn't really a pain anymore. It was more of an ache. And then the ache in my foot just completely went away. Well, 9 months later, I went back to trying coffee again, and I had Black Rifle coffee, and that pain came back right away. It was like the next day, I had 2 cups of coffee. The next day, I had that pain again. So I stopped drinking that, and I found the Dunn Brothers coffee. Yeah, the Diamond Cutter. Jeff says, I have not had pizza for close to a year. I'm sure it would taste great, but it doesn't call to me anymore. Yeah, I haven't had any issues with pizza, Jeff, until last night when I was serving those little munchkins with that pepperoni pizza. The cheese pizza didn't bother me one bit, but that pepperoni, holy cow. And it wasn't the pizza itself, it was the pepperonis that had that smell to it. Brian says, I saw that one. I stopped drinking about 10 years ago. Even one beer just tore me up. Yeah. And alcohol will do that to you. And I was going to put this on here too, because we got people on both streams. And Uncle Willie, was he in here? Uncle Willie's in here. So he's on Rumble. Still don't see anybody coming commenting from X. So I don't know if X is actually putting my stuff up there. I could go look. I don't think anybody's seen it commenting on X anyway. But I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to take a look on my other screen over here and see if that's even happening. I do see that there's 2 people that are watching it. But yeah, no, they don't show any comments here on X. But there is one thing that happens on X, and it's, I don't know why they haven't gotten rid of this yet. You'd think that they would get rid of this here scam that's going on. There's a, when you're, when you follow somebody and they follow you back on X, you can message them privately after that. And the one thing that happens when you do this here is like people can ask you questions and do stuff, right? Well, last summer or last spring, when? Yeah, it was a year ago. I got a message from somebody that I follow saying that they had, well, here's what it says: is, hey, can you show some love real quick and vote for me to co-host this podcast event with Spotify and Google? I'm one of the few rep in the US, so every vote counts. Drop your support right here, and it gives you a podcast, vote, whatever. You click on that link, and that fucking link steals your damn X channel, your X account. You lose it. It took me over 2 months to get my X account back. I fought with Google, and well, not Google, but X, for over 2 months to get my channel, my account back from them because of the way it's set up and everything. And I pay for the verification, and it was really frustrating. But there's you still have people out there that are doing this, and I can't believe that they have not stopped that link from happening on X. You know they can do it, but they're not. That's frustrating. They should be stopping that from happening so that people don't end up losing their accounts like this. All right. How do I get back to this one? Hey, people on X, what are you doing? I see that there's a couple of people watching on here from X. What are you doing? Are you doing the carnivore diet? Come on. Let's talk about this. Yeah, I'm still live on here. It shows I'm live. I see the screen. Everything's working just like it should. All right. Brian, absolutely hate the 2 channel thing. It does get frustrating, but I actually get more views when I have the 2 channel up there. The vertical view, more people actually come onto that one than they do onto the original one. It pushes it out to more people. So I actually get more people watching my channel and watching what we're doing in here. Yeah, we are overrun with scammers, Uncle Willie, and it really sucks sometimes. And we get them into the lives here. We get them in, every social media platform has them. I had the one on Rumble yesterday. Well, for me, it doesn't happen much on Rumble, but on these other social media sites, it happens a lot. Brian says, don't like X a bunch of crazy asses there. I keep it for a contest. Yeah. I've had some good luck with X with the people that I follow and the groups that I'm a part of. I'm part of military groups on X and fasting groups, and then a couple of different carnivore groups. But I try to stay away from all the other nonsense that goes on in there. This is actually my second X account. My first X account I deleted when a certain political party got in power and we're talking about going after anybody who supported a certain person, I, I pretty much got rid of both my X and my Facebook accounts at that time. I can tell you I scrubbed them clean and I deleted them. Just not fun. You get threatened like that because of who you voted for. And they call our current president a dictator and stuff. That's what they're trying to do. And it's just terrible. I don't like it. But this channel is not about politics, so we'll stop it at that point. Now, where was I? Oh, I was going to show you. I'm going to show you a before and after picture. This is I have to look and see when did I take this picture? Where's that at? This one picture that I'm going to show, the first one here, it was taken. When was it taken? There it is. This was taken in. This was May 26th of 2024. So this was just a few months before I started my carnivore diet. I started my carnivore diet in August of 2024. This, not that. This is me in May. So you can see my round face. This is a 3XL jacket. Now this jacket that I'm wearing, this vest, actually had removable sleeves. So you could take the sleeves off, put them back on, and it was just a windbreaker like that. Otherwise, it was just a nice light jacket that I could wear. And this is me just a week ago. Same door, same place. You can see how much less of me there is there. That's down 142 pounds from this picture. You see how wide my body is compared to that door? It's a huge difference. Brian says, I kick off tons of people on Facebook yet. I want to read about people's victories, not their hate. Absolutely. And it's not what it's about, you know. We celebrate the victories. The victories are what help inspire others to do what we're doing. Jiffy, good morning. How are you doing? The North Dakota Carnivore crew, I like that. You're in Georgia mountains and somebody turn the air up outside. It's cold again. Yes. Jiffy, it was 14 degrees here this morning when I first woke up, and I went back to bed. So it was actually amazing because I slept for another 3 hours. Oh, I needed that. It's a big difference, huh, Brian? Uncle Willie says I use Rumble because YouTube shadow banned my account 2 years ago, right? And I never did anything politically on YouTube ever. So in fact, I never did anything on YouTube until I started this channel for this. I would have never done something like that before. You know, I've got a few friends that I actually know and talk to and stuff, and they have different YouTube accounts. They do different things on here. They don't show themselves on the screen, but they show what they're doing and stuff like that. And I couldn't do something like that because I'd be putting myself out there. I'd never do something like that before. Oh, somebody needs to turn the air down because it's too hot in Georgia. I thought you meant you got a cold spell that just went through. Well, you can take my cold air. It is cold here this morning again. I was saying earlier in the stream that even our weather right now, We are going up to 81 degrees by Tuesday. It was 14 degrees this morning. Tuesday's high is forecast to be 81 degrees, 70 on Monday, 70 tomorrow, 74 tomorrow, 80 on Tuesday, 77 on Wednesday, 56 on Thursday, Friday, snow, Saturday, snow. Yeah, somebody needs to put Mother Nature back on her meds because she's crazy. Or is it old Madden Winter is still stumbling around drunk somewhere on a carb heavy diet? YouTube also monitors comments on videos and live streams. They do. You do have to watch what's going on there because they are a little bit crazy. Looking great. Can't wait till I'm in your boat. You'll be there soon, and it doesn't take long. You've lost 101 pounds. That is amazing. Um, let me. I can do this too. I'm not nearly as quick as Larry. I know Larry's got stuff set up differently on his system. I don't know if he pays for a different version of this or a higher version. I pay for my StreamYard, but I'm cheap. I pay for the cheapest version I can get. Where did that go? All right, so I'm dropping 2 more pictures into my. Because I can only hold 10 pictures at a time in my stream before I have to delete some and move some around to be able to put more in. So this is Brian. This is Brian Aries before picture. And I completely identify with this picture because I know what it's like to have that belly, to have that excess fat on the arms and the face. You're miserable like this. You don't know how miserable you are until you start a diet like the carnivore diet. I was on 5 blood pressure medications and my blood pressure still wasn't normal. It was still high. But now this is Brian now. He's down 101 pounds. And this is absolutely amazing results, Brian. This is so cool. It's nice to be able to show stuff like this to people so that they can see that you can go from this and 9 months later be at this and still be healthy, still be fed, not be starving, and having a wonderful life because of this. So that is absolutely amazing. Yeah. Yeah, if you talk about politics, you lose half of your crowd. The bad thing there is no middle ground anymore. And then there's not. And the sad part is if you look at our no, I'm not even gonna go in there. I'm not doing it. Jiffy says awesome, Brian. And it is that those are awesome results. I got one more picture I want to show you guys of me of a before picture. Actually, I have 2 before pictures I want to show. This was me in July, at the end of July 2024. It's my beautiful wife there, and then there's me. You see how big I am compared to her? Huge. And we're in Karlsruhe. Now, this Karlsruhe is in North Dakota. My wife and I, we met in Karlsruhe, Germany. So, and we met on the last weekend in July. So the last weekend of July, not specifically a date, but we like to, remember that that's when we met. And we decided to go to Karlsruhe, North Dakota, and take a picture in front of the sign here as a memory. But that's me like a month before I started the carnivore diet. at least 335 pounds right there. And that's what I look like. I was huge. Now, there is one more picture I am going to show. And this is what happens when you're on a standard American diet and working out. I did I did beach body workouts. I followed their protocol for health and for eating and stuff like that, which is know, a low fat, high carb, plant based diet. I did that for years, trying to get healthy. I lost 80 pounds when I was doing the Beachbody workouts with Shanti and Insanity and Focus T25, Insanity Max 30, Insanity the Asylum. I did all of those, man. And I loved working out with Shanti. I really did. I enjoyed doing them. Felt so good afterwards. But the diet is what was wrong. Those workouts were amazing. And I still have a subscription to their on demand because once in a while I like to do a workout. And what I found is though I don't work out now, I can go through those workouts a lot better now being on this diet than I was able to when I was on the low carb or high carb, low fat, very lean meat diet that they recommend. I don't get winded. I don't run out of energy like I used to. And I can actually crush these workouts now. Wow. 6 months ago was the last time I did one, but I did one. And it was one of the insanity ones that used to kick my ass. And I did really good. But doing those for 4 years, I lost 80 pounds. And then one day when I was getting ready to do a workout, I couldn't find my heart rate on my chest strap. So I didn't do my workout. My chest was tight. I was having difficulty breathing. My wife came home and I told her what was going on. And we ended up going to the ER and found out that my heart was an AFib. And that set up a whole new thing going on with me. And I ended up on a bunch of medications, bunch of pills. Took those for a couple of years. And then they didn't work. I ended up having surgery. In February 22nd, 2017, this is me sitting in a hospital bed after I had heart surgery. I ended up having heart surgery in February of 2017 to correct my AFib. So, that's not fun. It wasn't. The recovery kind of sucked. But that's what happens. Oh, that's right, Brian. You're down 206 pounds from where you started. That picture was a great memory. My mom and sister were still alive. That helped me look past the picture of me. How you loved the before and after. I share those because it shows what you can do. I mean, I haven't really worked out probably less than 10 times actually working out, not counting a walk, in the past 20 months that I've been doing this. You don't have to work out. You can work out. Working out will help you, but I don't like working out, so I don't. Yeah. I have come a long way, Jiffy. It's been a huge difference from, what I was. This is a month before I started carnivore. So you can see what my face has done. It's a big, big difference. I had the catheter ablation for my heart. When I was in AFib, your sinus node tells your heart when to beat. And something other than my sinus node was telling my heart to beat. So the cardiologist I was seeing was he called himself a plumber. He's one that if you had artery, plaque in your arteries and stuff. He's the one that cleaned it out. And when the medications that I had stopped working, he referred me to his buddy, the electrician. That's what he called him, who dealt with the electrical impulses. And I ended up having heart surgery. It's catheter ablation. They put 3 catheters in your groin and they go up into the heart. They make a 3D map of your heart. I had more leads and stuff on my body. It was amazing what they did. 3D image of my heart. And then they could put these wires in there, and then they would microwave and create scar tissue on my heart to stop it from sending that impulse to put me in AFib. Basically what they did. Now the surgery they've estimated would last between 2 to 3 hours, and it lasted just over 5, because once they got in there, they found a lot more going on than what they expected. So it was a good thing I had it done. It did make a big difference, That was on the February 22nd. My surgery was first thing in the morning, 6 a.m. I had to be there at 5 a.m. I was prepped at 6, on the table at like 6:30, and next thing I know, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm waking up in a room. And the next day, I was discharged on the 23rd. I went home, and I wasn't supposed to drive, but living here in North Dakota, it was a snowstorm, and my surgery was done in a hospital 2 hours away from home. So I drove home in a snowstorm the day after heart surgery. Fun stuff. Good memories. Uncle Willie says, I did 60 push-ups a couple of days ago. I've thought about doing push-ups. When I've done my walks and stuff, I thought about coming home and just doing some push-ups afterwards just to do it. Brian says, I noticed over the last couple of months, a lot of creators have been talking about getting more people involved in carnivore. I think showing before and after pictures gets people more involved. And I agree. That's why on my weekends, I like to show the before and after pictures, because I can sit here. You can look at me now. I'm 200, between 205 and 225. Okay, let's give that 20-pound range. At any time, I can be in that range. And I'm talking about losing weight. People look at me and I'm like, well, what weight do you have to lose? Well, I had a lot of weight to lose. I was really sick, but it wasn't about the weight loss for me. I started this year for my blood pressure. Want to see my blood pressure? That was medicated. I was on, at this time, I was on 3 or 4 blood pressure medications when this was taken. My pulse is 75. I was 167 over 116, and this is lower than what it was when I first started going to the doctor. I was 200 something over 120s when I first went to the doctor. 6 weeks into carnivore, and this is where I am with 0 blood pressure medications. Actually, this was a year later. I think I have to look at the picture. The picture gives me the date on this, and I can't see what it is. Yeah, it looks like it's June of 2025, so a year after being on carnivore, almost a year. 10 months into carnivore, this is where my blood pressure is. I'm just sitting there, decided to take it one morning and remember to take a picture of it because I forget about that all the time. But what a difference. It's a huge difference what carnivore does for a person. And this is why I did carnivore. I did carnivore because of this. Right there, medicated, and I was not doing good. My blood pressure was out of control, even on medication. Now, this wasn't when I was on 5. I was on, I think, 3 at this time, and I still wasn't under control. But what changed? I stopped listening to what people were saying I should be doing. I stopped listening to the people that said, eat less red meat, eat less animal fats, eat less salt. I did just the opposite of what they told me to do. I cut out all plants, I cut out all carbohydrates, I cut out all processed foods. I ate only red meats and animal fats, and I I don't know how many hundreds of times I increased my salt intake. I have Redmond salt that I carry with me at all times. And generally, like when I'm fasting, see, now this one here, well, let me get rid of this picture. You can't really see, can you? This one right here, this Redmond salt, you see it's empty. This was mine yesterday. This Redmond salt, it's 7 grams of salt. I ate just about all that in like a 3 hour period yesterday when I was at that birthday party dealing with the hunger issues from that pepperoni pizza, trying to get that to go away. But I couldn't. It didn't work. And I don't know where I was going with that tangent, but I increased my salt intake tremendously while on the carnivore diet. I can do 7 grams. I have two of them actually that I carry with me. I can do 7 grams of salt a day. I actually weighed it out so I knew how much I was bringing with me with those, because people often ask, "Well, how much salt do you take?" 7 grams a day. That's way more than what we're supposed to be taking, right? But every cell in your body relies on salt as an electrolyte to signal. And you're cutting that out, guess what you're doing? You're cutting out your body's ability to talk to itself. Double chin, right? Larry didn't have nothing on my double chin. I tell you, I was pretty good on that one. I used to joke around that I had more chins than the Chinese phone book. Yeah, my before and after looked like two different people. And that was brought up on another meeting here not that long ago. And that got me thinking, my driver's license, I had that done before this year. And I think my license says my weight is 320 pounds. So if I get pulled over and ask for my license, they're not going to believe it's me. I really need to go in and get that redone. The other one that I have a concealed carry license, and that looks nothing like me either. I got that in March of 2024. So yeah, uh, where is it? That one. So that's about what I look like for my concealed carry license. Completely different. Brian says same surgery here. They turned me off on 5 times before surgery. I felt the shock twice. One of the times the doctor said I sat up on the bed and said, "Fuck that." It hurt. I don't, it's not funny, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I never got shocked. But when I did go for my surgery, I wore a t-shirt that showed somebody that was on life support. And the t-shirt said, "Have you tried turning it off, turning it back on?" My cardiologist was ass off when he saw that shirt, and I wore it to the day of my surgery. He said I had a pretty good sense of humor. So I like that. It's always good to have a sense of humor when you're going into stuff like that. Because what are you gonna do? You know? Yeah. And see the numbers that I was showing now, my now numbers, this is I usually get lower numbers than this. Usually in like the one teens for the systolic, and then my whatever this one is. I can never pronounce that one properly, so I'm not even gonna try. It's usually in the 70s. It's usually not down in the 60s like that. And my pulses can be anywhere from the 50s to the 70s, but that's actually really good. Turn off the gum flappers. uh, but you know, this was actually the first time I've ever shared that picture of me in the hospital, and that's what happened when I followed that vegan style diet is it's not good for you. Now, where was it at? I had I had some other pictures that I saw not that long ago, and I can't remember where I saw them at. They were on my phone, but yeah, imagine trying to find stuff on your phone when you got a few thousand pictures on it. They were pictures of me when I was doing insanity. Because when you did insanity, you took before pictures, you took after pictures after you completed your workouts. So your insanity workout was 6 weeks long. So you took a before picture and then you did an after picture after 6 weeks, and you sent it in and you could get a t-shirt. Well, I've got several insanity t-shirts. I've got uh, the Asylum t-shirts. I got the Focus T25 and Insanity Max 30 t-shirts. I've got all those shirts. So I've got pictures of what I look like when I was doing the insanity workouts. I just don't know where they are. Um, they're on my phone somewhere. I've got some on file some places. My wife has a bunch on her phone, but I don't get a hold of her phone very often. And then my phone is full of junk too. I mean, I used to take pictures of the fast food menus, send it to my wife, and ask her to go get me that for lunch. Places like Hardee's or Wendy's or Popeye's chicken. Man, I used to love Popeye's chicken. Popeye's chicken was one of my favorite. If they would only make Popeye's chicken without the breading, I would still probably eat Popeye's chicken. But without the breading and their seasonings, or maybe if they made their breading from a pork rind panko instead of a flour, and then cooked it in beef tallow instead of a seed oil, maybe that would be something I would eat again. That would be. I, I love Popeyes. I've always liked it. One of my favorite places. I started eating that back in the 1980s when they were in Germany, in Heidelberg. Amazing stuff. Brian says, you find peace when there's a chance you're going to die. You do. when you think about it and what's going on, it's amazing how your body and your mind change when you end up going in for a surgery like that. It made you laugh out loud. Um, that's good, Jeff. The ablation surgery weren't great until I got COVID and messed everything up. Carnivore got me back. I still have flutters that feel like butterflies in my chest. See, and I had through that whole COVID thing, I tested positive once, and in that period of time, I lost my sense of smell and taste. I didn't have a fever. I didn't have a cough. I didn't have sinus pressure. I didn't have anything. I just lost my sense of taste, and that was right around Thanksgiving. So the end of the 14-day quarantine I had, uh, Thanksgiving was 2 days before that, but we weren't able to do, a family Thanksgiving dinner or anything like that. We just ended up having it with the four of us that were stuck in the house at the time. Actually, five of us. Uh, but that was all I had. Now, there were two other times where I got a phone call saying I was a close contact to somebody and I was quarantined for 10 to 14 days and I had to go through all that protocol bull crap again. But I got paid for the time sitting at home. I didn't get overtime, which I get a lot of overtime at work, but I didn't get that. I just got the regular 80-hour work week instead of the 120 to 140 I was normally getting, or 80-hour pay period, so 120, 140. But it was, after 2 weeks, you're really bored. That was actually one of the last times I tried doing an insanity workout. Was I had my hand on the door. I was getting ready to go to our state fair at the end of July. My phone rang. It was our HR. And I'm like, do I want to answer this? And I'm like, yeah, I got to answer it. She asked me what I was doing. I told her I was getting ready to go to the fair. She's like, "No, you're in quarantine." I'm like, "Oh crap! Now what?" And she said, "Well, somebody said you were a close contact and they tested positive, so you are in quarantine." So I ended up spending the whole state fair quarantine, which didn't bother me at all because I don't like going there. And I decided, well, if I'm going to be quarantined, I'm going to do something while I'm there. And I did insanity workouts twice a day for that 2 weeks, and finally got let loose. And then once the government said that they were no longer going to be paying that fund for employers when people tested positive to stay home, that's when I told my HR and my boss that I will never do this again because I don't believe in it. Simple as that. Not going to happen. And I never did. I never got told I was quarantined again after that. But I did only test once, and that was our whole family. My daughter and her family were out, and my family that was still living at home with me, we all tested positive for it. So yeah, it wasn't good. But the only thing that we did is the five of us that were here. The only thing that happened to us is we all lost our sense of smell and our sense of taste. Nobody had fevers. Nobody got sick. Nobody had any other issues. That was just it. So that's all that happened. Well, it's been an hour. It's a lot of rambling there. I want to throw these up here again. This is my, well, wrong one. This is my before. This was just a year before I started carnivore. And that's me 20 months into carnivore. This is me less than a month before I started carnivore. And that's me now. It's a big difference. What happens? Yeah. I don't know why this thing does this every now and then. This is my blood pressure before carnivore on blood pressure medication. This is my blood pressure on carnivore with no blood pressure medications. Huge difference. It's amazing what this diet does for a person. This is Brian before carnivore. This is Brian after carnivore. And this is 206 pounds of weight loss. This is amazing. Congratulations to Brian. It's so nice to have results like that. Your body heals so much. There's so much that goes on in your body. Carnivore isn't just about weight loss. Carnivore is about your whole body healing again. If you have questions, you can leave questions in the comments of the show. You can chat with us. You can send me message. I don't mind. It's what I'm here for. I want to share what I've learned to help others to heal themselves. You too, Brian. Have a great week and looking good yourself, buddy. You love that picture of yourself because you can see the coffee cup that's calling me right now. Really? I didn't notice a coffee cup. Which one was it? Oh, okay. I see. Had to get rid of the comment. Well, you go enjoy your coffee, Brian. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you in the chats and talk to you next weekend, 10 a.m. Central Time, Saturday and Sunday. Actually, next Sunday, I won't be here next Sunday because my granddaughter is being confirmed and I'll be at church. So my Sunday live stream won't be happening. And after we get done with the church, we're going out to my daughter's for lunch and stuff. So I won't be able to do a stream next weekend, next Sunday anyway. Jiffy, take care all. Yep. And Ryan says bye all.